Now the Beat Studio Plus. We're going to be talking about these earbuds. They're basically all-arounders. They do everything just right, especially if you have the right setup. So let's get into it. Audio quality. Now, the audio quality is very good. I mean, it sounds very good. Now, it doesn't have an EQ for the buds themselves. Indeed, online it says that they do not feature an internal adjustable multi-band EQ. However, it does have an acoustic platform, and more importantly, they are flexible to EQing from your phone, whether it be an iPhone or Android. So the sound quality on these, if I was to give it for 1 to 10 for a single driver earbuds that cost around the $100 to $150 range, although you can catch it for $100 a lot of times at places like Best Buy and Target. From 1 to 10, I would give it about, for the all-arounder function, being able to travel with it, everything, I would give it about a 8.9. Now let's talk about the build quality. The build quality is very good. Very good. I've dropped these a few times. Still reliable, nothing shaking in the earbud. Very strong. It's made of a unique kind of plastic that seems very durable. It has a nice shine coating on this edge right here. And these are the white bone ones. I also have the transparent gray ones. Those are a nice look as well. Now, the build quality is very important when it comes to ANC, because these are basically like almost earplugs that have an ANC function. Now, the ANC isn't as strong as some of the top of the line ANC producers, or even AirPods Pro 3s or what have you. However, the passive noise cancellation, when it comes to noise cancellation in general, you have passive noise canceling, and then you have active noise canceling. Passive noise canceling is very important to drown out the majority of frequencies. You don't want to totally rely on a software, but that might be subject to an opinion. But if you really appreciate noise canceling in general, a passive noise canceling form of earbud is very important, and these are it. You put it in the air, give it a little twist in there, you're good to go. Mind you, if you do not like earbuds or anything in your ear canal, you won't have the same appreciation for it. However, if that doesn't bother you and you want noise canceling, these will do it. Now, as far as the noise canceling is concerned, you have active noise canceling, normal mode, and transparency mode, which I'm going to get into. Now, the active noise canceling, from 1 to 10, it's about a good 8 as far as I'm concerned. And that's even with these regular ear tips that they come with. Although that might drop down to be truthful with you, maybe a 7.5. But I never use those. Now, the transparency mode on these is very good. Now, let me tell you why. With the transparency mode, you can have it in transparency mode. You're walking down the street. All of a sudden, there's this big, loud noise, maybe a big truck that has a huge load and is making a whole lot of noise. When the ANC picks that up on transparency mode, it kicks in. So you can have it on transparency mode, and if something is too loud, the noise canceling comes in automatically. So you could basically say it has a transparency mode that's adaptive. Very good function, very good feature, understated and underrated. It is very, very good. When that active noise canceling kicks in, when you have it on transparency mode, if you ask me, it almost sounds stronger than the regular active noise canceling. Like it really shuts down whatever is that loud. I'm going to leave it like that. So ANC from 1 to 10, a good 8.5 altogether. The passive noise canceling, if you want me to rate that from 1 to 10, it gets a 10 with the proper mods, which is these phone comply tips or any ones that you're able to find. Now let's talk about the application. You're not going to get much from the application as far as Android is concerned. These are definitely built for the iPhone ecosystem, although there are Android apps that you can download that might give you some of that kind of iPhone feel and integration, but it's definitely limited. What you're able to do on the app is you're able to change two functions, or you get the option to. So you can either have the ability from on the left and the right earbud to either change it, the ANC from active noise canceling, ANC off, or transparency mode. Or you can choose the option and be able to play the volume from your left and your right earbud. Now the left earbud being programmable so that you can either have it turn the music up or down. You can do the same thing on the right earbud, program it to either turn it up or down, the volume that is. A very good function. It has a nice gradient to it when you turn it down, especially if you have disabled absolute volume on an Android device. So you'll have your regular volume that's on your phone with your EQ and everything, and then also you would have the EQ, or the volume I should say, on these earbuds. You can turn it down. Volume is very important when it comes to audio quality. Let's say, for example, on your phone, you have it turned up to a decent amount. And let's say you turn these down to maybe about 65%. The sound is going to be incredible. Especially if your EQ setup is proper, the sound is going to be noticeable and it's going to be incredible. So you might have a tough time if you're an audiophile wanting to choose between the two, because you have to choose either or. It's either you're able to change the ANC or you're able to change the volume. You also have a function in the app where you're able to change whether or not the microphone is going to be on your right or your left earbud. Okay. Now this is important, and it also has a function where it changes it automatically. Now, let's say you're on a phone call, and let's say you have it on the microphone on your right earbud. So you have your left one in, let's say you put this one in your ear, and then you can use this one as a microphone. Very nifty. It's a function that you can use, comes in handy. Now, I must say that that function is truly underrated because sometimes, people might not hear you. And as far as the call quality is concerned on these earbuds, from 1 to 10, if you're using phone compliance, I would give it a 7. If you're using these, the regular ones that come with it, I would give it a 7.8. And that's whether you're in a noisy area or a quiet area. It's not the best in phone call quality, but a lot of people don't get these for phone call quality. However, it is serviceable. Whether you're on Zoom or you aren't, it is serviceable. Just You just might want to make sure that you have it in transparency mode so you can hear yourself talking, especially when you have the phone compliance in. You want to have it in transparency mode, that's for sure, while you're speaking on the phone. And then, so on the app, you're able to register your earbuds with Apple so you can get them serviced, 1 year warranty or what have you. And you're also able to update the firmware for any firmware updates. That's basically it with the functions. You're not going to get the same functions that you get from you know, other apps from different earbud manufacturers. It's a no nonsense kind of application, and truly, you'll just be getting these for the ANC, the battery life, and like I said, the call quality is serviceable. I've had conversations on the phone with these earbuds, had no problem. Definitely serviceable. Now, let me get into, if you wanted to know which comply phone tips these are, let me show you them. That's the inside. There are several manufacturers that come out with similar ones to these, and it fits in very easily. It doesn't come off or anything like that. The only issue you might have after a while is that if you have these in for a long time, right, and you just throw them back into your case. Let's say you just throw them back into the case, you just use it, it's moist, it's expanded somewhat, and you just throw it in there. If you keep doing that after a while, the inner part of this is gonna come loose. The only solution to that is when you take them out, you might want to just place them on the table while it's on and let it dry. That's the only solution to it. Other than that, there's no problem with the foam tips, not at all. Now again, these right here, these are practically like air plugs. So if you do not like the in-ear kind of feel, the only thing that I could recommend to you is these ikko iPlanet slow rebound memory foam tips. That's the name of it. ikko slow rebound memory foam tips, iPlanet version. This is them right here. That's how it looks. Let me open it up. Comes in small, medium, or large. All four of them are going to be small, medium, or large. These are the large ones. Let me take them out. Now, back to the solution. Now, if you use these, you can just put them on the edge of the canal of your ear. So you don't have to push it all the way in like these if you want a real strong noise canceling. Now, if you use these, a passive noise canceling from 1 to 10, now, mind you, with these, I've given it a 10. With these, I'll give it a 8.9. These right here. Now, the passive alone on these, I want to reiterate, a 10. Like your noise canceling is going to be up to par, when it comes to any noise canceling earbuds, if you're using these. Why? Because of the build. It's like a plug. Because of the build. So if noise canceling is your thing, you're going to want to take a look at these. These are affordable. And if you want ANC and strong noise canceling overall, including the passive noise canceling, including the passive, which is very important, you are going to want to take a look at these. Now, the battery, I get about 8 hours from it. To be truthful, that's 8 hours. I use SBC. Sometimes I use AAC. I like EQing. I can make SBC sound better than it actually is set to sound. So sometimes I use SBC, a whole lot of times actually. And so I'm getting about 8 hours. Sometimes if I'm not using a strong EQing setup, but if I'm using a strong EQ setup, I'm getting about 6.5 to 7 hours. 6.5 to 7 hours of noise canceling. I'm talking about blasting the music, where it's real loud, you know? So that's real good. And that's consistent. Neither have I detected any battery degradation in these since I got these. And I got these about 4 months ago. However, I got these probably about nearly a year ago. And as you can see, I have the same setup. No battery degradation. You know how Apple is. Their quality control, serious. Quality control, very serious, okay? I don't want to sound like a broken tape recorder, but that's very important. Very reliable. These are all arounders. As far as the music is concerned, the treble, the highs, sounds very good, and they're flexible. The same goes with the mids and the bass. Now, this is going to depend on your EQ setup because there is no EQ on this, and it has an acoustic platform as far as the build of the inner components are concerned, and even the software in it. Now, if you're asking me on my Android, which apps do I use? I use all the audiophile applications. Neutron, Poweramp, USB audio. I use all of them. Hiby Music Player. If you're talking about something that's for free, the Hiby Music Player, and Aimp, the OG Android application for audio, high quality audio. That is the OG application, Aimp, the OG free application on Android. You doing that right? It's hard to miss anything. Now, Neutron, that's a whole nother level. A lot of people complain about it. We're not going to get into that too much. But for those who, if they had 1,000 features or 1,000 ways to shape their audio, and they like it and they love doing it. Neutron is for you. You're not gonna have 1,000, but there's a whole lot of options there. I mean, a whole lot of options. It's gonna take a while to master them, but once you do, there is no limit, no limit at all. That Neutron Music Player, it is serious when it comes to audio. You can use a DAC, a DAP dongle, something like this as well. This is the BTD 600. They got the Q style out, and there are several, the Quest style, and there's several others as well. It works very good with Neutron, USB audio, Poweramp as well. Poweramp is a great all-around, high-quality audio application. In addition to that, I use the Poweramp equalizer app as well, which is a separate app. So you have two. You have Poweramp, which has its own equalizer, and then you have Poweramp equalizer, which has its own equalizer. It's not a player, it's an equalizer. And you can use that with Neutron. Let's say you're using Neutron and you got the clarity and you set up the bass and everything, or the parameters for the bass to kick in. You use a Poweramp equalizer, it's going to amplify that seriously, so you can have your bass and your clarity as well. And that works, Poweramp equalizer, if you put it in global mode, which means that it's going to apply to everything: your YouTube, your Spotify, any audio on your phone besides the phone call audio. It's just going to make it that much greater. I also have the precise EQ, or the precise volume app. I also have that as well, that paid one as well. It is very good. However, Poweramp equalizer is my go-to one, and I also have RE EQ. So you got Poweramp equalizer, RE equalizer, precise volume equalizer, which has auto EQ, and Poweramp has auto EQ files as well. I don't use those. I like, making my own EQs, according to the sound that I'm looking for. So with that wrapped up, although these do not have its own EQ function, they are very flexible to tuning. So it's a very good all-around earbud. You can't go wrong. You can catch it on sale for $100 if you're able to afford those. It's very, very hard to beat the price and the noise canceling. Again, with the form factor, and then you use these mods. Either or. These, if you don't want them in your ear too much, or these. Let me show you the container which goes. So it comes in something looking like this. Strauss and Wagner. These are the large. I have decent size ears, you can say. And all large ones. Again, I do want to reiterate. On this, that if you want these to last long, if you have them in your ear and by the time you take them out, they're very, very soft. Before you put them in your case, you're going to want to let it sit and dry. They will last longer like that. If you don't do that, the inside tubing is going to separate from the outside foam. And the only way to rectify that is with some crazy glue in between the two. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. But nonetheless, if you want to make them last longer, that's what you need to do. And so I'm going to wrap it up with just showing you how I put these The ikko iPlanet slow rebound memory foam tips. How they look when they're on these earbuds. So this is the inside of it. So you can see that ridge on the inside. That inner ridge, that last inner ridge, that's where it's gonna go. Twist, twist, twist. There you go. Nice little round tire. Looking like a tire gummy bear. And you just place these right on the canal and you're good to go. It doesn't have to go in the air like these will. But I don't have any issues with that, so I do use these more often. But you won't hear anything. I'm talking about if you have a neighbor blasting music and you have this setup. Let's say you're using some ambient noise, you can put it on low. You're not going to hear a thing. Not going to hear a thing. Trust me on that. Nothing. No door slamming. Nothing. It's serious. Passive noise canceling is underrated. All you need is a decent ANC with it and the right form factor, and you're good to go. And so I'm going to wrap it up. That is my review of the Beat Studio Plus earbuds. You see that I have two. They're very affordable. I'll save up lunch money just to get these things, which I did. And they are very, very reliable. Very good. All arounders. You can go anywhere and expect to have your peace of mind when it comes to audio. Your space, as far as elbow room to the things that, the loud noises and stuff with the ANC. And the battery lasts long as well. I've gone on long walks with these, walked miles with these. They're still running real good. So there goes my review, and I hope that it helps you in choosing the right affordable earbuds that are all arounders. If you want ANC, these are the ones to go. If you want reliability, these are the ones to go. The quality control with all Apple products are very good, and you can always take it to the store if it's otherwise, which more than likely is not going to be the case. The quality control is very, very, very good. However, there are variables or what have you, and things do happen, but their quality control is second to none. And there you go. B Studio Plus earbuds. That's my review. Take care and have a good one.